Here is the tale of the tape. Both these men advanced in age.
Hailing from Sylvania, Ohio, here is Devin Vargas. Introducing to you the undefeated Julie, the Big Bang Zhang.
Listen to my commands at all times. Any questions? Any questions? Let's touch them up and do it. Let's go.
Zhang Zhang and Devin Vargas. Two heavyweights, speak much English, but did want to communicate with everyone around him. And yes, Vargas.
The first few rounds, we hoped to tire out Zhang in this fight, get to him in the later rounds. Until after 11, asked him, what keeps you coming back to the boxing ring at this stage? That's not
throw that straight left hand to the body like that. That will set up the right hooks, just like the Chechen Wolf earlier.
So hello to all his co-workers and everybody pulling for him right now, watching live on DAZN. We're going to find out if Zhang has that one-punch knockout power that you always want an elite heavyweight Zhang, even though it looks like Zhang, and it would rhyme perfectly with the Big Bang Zhang.
Over 300 amateur fights, so he has that background.
Stop.
Todd, you mentioned that
behind the jab.
You see Vargas motioning behind the head, leery of those behind-the-head shots.
And perhaps you wouldn't expect it, but he's all smiles, very...
For what it's worth, Vargas did say he didn't mind. You know, Vargas's days, they often begin at 4 o'clock in the morning. They don't end until...
He builds Jeeps for a living. He's a team leader at the Toledo Jeep plant.
You watch the tape, it was more of a temple shot, but of those types of shots in his fights. At this stage, it's not about the money. It's about showing his kids that if you want something, and if you work hard, you can get it. Pawing jab of Zhang. Back in his earliest career, Juan Good, he dropped Zhang with his lunging right hand.
Experience and education with that Olympic pedigree, and he has a lot of fights under his belt. Over 300.
It is Zhang Zhang.
Oh, Zhang fights like a big man. He's very patient at distance, very disciplined behind that jab. He looks for clean shots.
Taking some huge shots.
Stop.
Zhang landed a clean.
Stop. Time.
So 2 things wrong in 1 second.
But you know what was right? He took the punch.
You know, Vargas did turn his back.
And asked me who I am and what I'm doing. Not so much here in the United States. Well, he got hit behind the head or right above the ear by Andy Ruiz Jr. and never got up. Is the bird's nest still operational? Now Vargas starting to show a little offense with a minute. Straight right splits the guard for Vargas, who's showing some life here.
Vargas is very crafty, very experienced, like I said. He knows how to fight small, which is what...
to bring Anthony Joshua to China to fight Beijing at the Bird's Nest.
If Vargas came in shape and he could stay off the ropes, he will make it difficult for Zhang. See, that's a craftiness right there. Move his head. He will have success, especially if he... division, but he fights like a big man. That's the main thing. He fights patient and punching with the right hook. Turning southpaw momentarily, Vargas.
He wants to make this fight ugly. And Vargas at least appears to be good at taking him.
That's the case for any fighter. You got to have a chin.
On Dominic Brazil. That's how that fight was stopped a couple of years ago.
And that's why he keeps complaining about those rabbit punches.
Fairly recognizable, but just on my massive size, I look like Godzilla walking down the street in China. Everyone stops me.
With discipline and behind the jab. Everything's behind the jab, but he'll sneak a body shot in here and there. You could expect that with a lefty and a righty fighting.
One of the bigger names he's fought and lost to.
Chin. You got to have a heart. You got to have brains.
Watch the post.
Clear reason why Eddie Hearn signed Zhang. And that is at some point in 2022.
In China after the Olympics, they just kind of let go to ruin, didn't they, Chris?
Some of them did.
Offense with a minute to go here in round 2.
Which is what normally makes him successful against bigger fighters. So if he, at 6'6", he'll be able to hang with the big boys at the heavyweight division. On Devin Vargas, getting on the side, getting an angle. A lot of experience. He's a very crafty fighter inside, but he needs to get off the ropes. That's exactly what he does, but he needs to get away. Just like that.
Expect Booker to win this fight, but he's never been stopped, Sergio, and he can go the full 12 rounds. He did it against Pulev last year.
No, he's a crafty fighter, and when he comes in shape, he can give anyone problems. And he's been in the ring with Hrgovic before as a sparring partner, so he knows it.
Box.
Round 3, scheduled for 10. Todd Grisham, Matchroom Bubble. He's 38 years old now. Wonder how much he will choose to continue.
Something tells me, Sergio, that Chisora would take that fight.
From the Big Bang.
Yeah, Vargas says that he fights better when he knows how to fight these big men. All he needs to do is keep the fight in the middle of the ring and pick to what Vargas can do if he's successful and if he can
describe his ethnicity. He said Mexican, Polish, and hillbilly.
Keep the fight in the middle of the ring and pick your shots.
If you see me breathing through my mouth, don't say that I'm tired. He said, I've got a deviated septum.
Well, the first half of the fight, and if he can come into another...
His first fight against Kevin Johnson, but then he had a lot of inactivity. He didn't fight in 2010, 2012. Just in football, he thinks that's a more dangerous sport.
Well, 5 Bs could add another B.
Eddie Hearn,
boxing.
About how he'd like to bring along...
At the Hard Rock Resort Casino in Hollywood, Florida. We are in the DAZN 13, 15, or 16. Mississippi raised in Alabama. I can't escape it. And right now, Vargas.
Like I said, he's a blue-collared guy, but, you know, he has that Olympic pedigree.
He mentioned Derek Chisora. You know, we just saw on DAZN against Alexander Usyk in a pretty solid fight.
Here's that Zhang hasn't fought in about a year, so he's been inactive almost a year, so that could
continue
also
this line of work.
You know, we asked Vargas
on just himself, you know, but staying off the ropes is the main thing he needs to do against a big man like this, just like that.
I think someone the size of Zhilei Zhang is always breathing heavy.
Put your hand back up. You touch, work the jab, touch the body, touch the head. You get too close too fast, you put contact on him. You're bigger and you're stronger with this guy.
Okay. Second down.
You're good.
Ring and pick his shots.
You know, Vargas told us in the fighter meetings that
Two big men, especially Chisora, coming off of that exciting fight with Usyk. I mean, he later rounds, he can actually create some problems.
Well, Zhang has only been past 6 rounds once.
It's kind of like us 3.
You know, we asked Devin, would he want his 5 sons to be boxers? And he said they like football, but
breathing heavy, and I relate with that deviated septum. Take too much time off. I would love to see that.
Counter left hand and a big one by the Big Bang.
Looks like he hurt his leg.
6, 7, 8, 9.
He says it's his knee, and that
10.
is it. Zhilei Zhang, Dabucha with a knockout.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee, Frank Gentile, reaches the count of 10. The official time comes to you. 49 seconds into round number 4 for your winner by TKO and still undefeated. Ladies and gentlemen, the Big Bang, Zhilei the Big Bang Zhang.